Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here today this morning. My name is Dr. Elizabeth Zavala Seves. I serve as associate director. I demoted myself today. I serve as the Associate Vice President of Student Affairs for what we call the College Access and Career Pathways Cluster. Comprised of about 7 or 8 units. One is combined, but really they function as 8. And I wanted to welcome you here today this morning. If you haven't had the opportunity to grab some breakfast, please do. If you'd like seconds, do so as well. I want to thank Rosalina Davis and Tlaquepalque for hosting us today, the wonderful, yummy breakfast. Rosalina, there you are. She is one of our CSUF alums and very dedicated alum that keeps helping us in the community in many ways. And so welcome to our first community update meeting. Before we get started, I want to welcome our fearless leader, our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Tonantzin Oseguera, who will be providing us with some welcome remarks. So thank you, Dr. Oseguera.
Thank you, Liz. Good morning, buenos dias. As Liz mentioned, my name is Tonantzin Oseguera, and I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs here at Cal State Fullerton. We thank you for taking the time for being here this morning and getting some information about Cal State Fullerton and all of the wonderful things that we are doing as a campus, as a university, for the success of all of our students. For those that are watching us on the live stream, unfortunately, too bad you can't taste Rosalina Davis food from Tlaquepaque. It is really good. So I hope that you get an opportunity to visit her restaurant, even if you're live stream after the community update. But I think for some points of pride that we wanted to share, you will see it on the handout and on the booklet, and you'll hear all of the great things that our offices are doing in admissions and financial aid, our career center, our center for internships and community engagement, as well as our educational partnerships. And all of this is very intentional. How Cal State Fullerton has been approaching the success of our students and what we're working towards is very intentional. It's not a coincidence that today at our campus we're also hosting the Empowerment Conference for Santa Ana girls just next door. So if you see and hear all the cheering, that's what it is. But it's so wonderful to be able to have those kinds of things and support our community. So we're doing much more of that and wanted to invite for all of you to listen to what we have to offer. You know, one of the points of pride that for me, I in particular focus are 3 of them. One, we recently were named in the top 1% of all public colleges and university as being the most powerful in education. Absolutely. Yes. And we're number 3 in the nation for awarding degrees to Latinas, which to me, right, very, very much personal, very much a point of pride for us. And we recently received the Seal of Excelencia, which not very many universities and campuses do. And for us to be one of those universities is because we are being intentional in how we're approaching everything that we do that you'll hear about today. And we're approaching it together as a university. I want to thank the deans that are here today that took some time out of their busy mornings to be here to connect with all of you. This is very important and very much a university effort. So I look forward to sharing the information with all of you, as well as to making some connections with folks that are here. This will not be the last time that we do something like this. We intend this to become an annual thing so that every year we're reporting to the community what we're doing and that you have the opportunity to give us some input and some feedback. You'll receive a survey at the end that we hope you take the time to fill out to give us some information about what are the things that you want to know and hear about from Cal State Fullerton. So thank you for being here this morning. And as Liz mentioned, please get some seconds. There's plenty of food for folks that are here. And I am going to turn it back over to Dr. Zavala. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Oseguera. Before we dive deep into our community update, I just wanted to point a couple of things. On your tables, you all received a publication that highlights some of the great efforts of the units that encompass our college access and career pathways. Upon the completion of our update today, you'll receive a digital copy, which is in an issue, looks like a magazine, if you will, and also a PDF, should you wish to download it. I do want to reference that our fall snapshot in the publication is fall 22, not fall 21. There's a minor discrepancy, but in the updated version that you will receive, it'll have the updated information. Additionally, at the end of the event, if you're sitting there thinking, I want more, I need more, there's more information I need, I'd like to gather. If you flip towards the back of the publication, there's a QR code of who you can contact. You can contact and email Juliana Hernandez, who's here at the front. You connect with her after the presentation. And or you can scan the QR code that will lead you directly to our Office of Institutional Effectiveness and Planning. We want to thank them also for the help and support in gathering some of these data and specifics of the highlights. Additionally, at the end of this event, we do have some alumni giveaways and takeaways. If you are an alumni from CSUF, please grab one on the way out. We're happy to provide you, and thank you to the Office of Alumni who are here and provided those gifts for us. I just want to frame the work that we do here at Cal State Fullerton in relation to our college access and career pathways cluster. Myself being a CSUF alum, being a high school graduate of one of our local feeder schools, and also being a product of our CSUF Educational Talent Search, in many ways, I am the product of intentional efforts brought on by Cal State Fullerton. I've been here for over 17 years. It is a distinct pleasure and honor to lead this team that works very hard day and night, weekends, all the time, and really trying to honor the CSU mission and our CSUF efforts. I can tell you that nationwide, you've seen the enrollment trends. Highly selective universities all the way from community colleges our enrollment trends are having an impact. Within the CSU, we are seeing that our first-time freshman enrollments are up again, similarly to pre-pandemic trends. Obviously a decline in our transfer students nationally. We just got back from a strategic enrollment management conference in Toronto, Canada, and very much the narrative there is, the community colleges are down about 13% or so in enrollment. And it's going to be challenging to get out of that deficit. And so now more than ever, we need to work collaboratively and strategically to make sure that we as a campus are able to enroll and continue to enroll our local community college students in relation to also our first-time freshmen and so forth. And this doesn't happen haphazardly. I can tell you that among our CSUs and our CSU campuses, some of them have seen a decline in enrollment, but luckily here at Cal State University Fullerton, I'm very proud and honored to be among you all who help us keep at pace with our enrollments, our incoming students. The conversation and narrative at this national conference that we attended was very much not only on the strategic partnerships and intentionality of the work that we do, but also a special focus on the retention of our students. So we definitely want to bring them in, and I can tell you that this team that you will engage with today does a great work and effort on that end, but you also need the help and support of the retention piece to make sure that our enrollments keep at pace. With that, I just want to share that what we're seeing across the nation and across higher ed institutions is that more than ever, cost of attendance is at the focal point of the decisions that our students are making, their families and their communities. Cost of attendance is important, it always has been, but there's a critical lens on that now, in addition to college and career pathways, career opportunities and salaries. Our students are making decisions at the very last minute because they're waiting to see their full financial aid packages and scholarships. They're intentionally making decisions based on the ROI. As such, this campus has pivoted in knowing that, and we are now offering actual awards versus estimated awards sooner in that process, sooner in time to make sure that they are able to gather that information before the May 1st deadline. So as our incoming class and incoming students and families are changing and pivoting, so are we as a campus, and we need to. And the importance really is to continue conversations about collaboration to make sure that we create clear pathways for our community college students, our first-time freshmen and their families, and that we're able to scale up our resources to the communities that we serve. The units that that will be speaking today encompass the College Access and Career Pathways unit, which is within the portfolio that I oversee. And we are diligently working behind the scenes and really engaging with the students in their journey. We start engaging with our local communities, local high schools, feeder schools, et cetera, very, very early on in the process. That is very unique to this cluster, as we get to work with kindergartners sometimes. The Kinder Caminatas, the Kids to College, as Dr. Oseguera mentioned, we have high school students here today from Santa Ana Unified School District. And, you know, we must start early because our student of tomorrow is already here. Right? They're in kindergarten. And so this group really works diligently through this process, the journey of a student, even before they start thinking about college, before they even start thinking about Cal State University Fullerton as a prospective place to come. We start engaging with them very early on in that process. And my hope and goal for today's community update meeting is that you walk away with a glimpse of how we strategically work together as a campus and with your partnerships, and with many of you who are here in the room today and some that are not here today. But we are always thinking about our audience and thinking about being a first-gen forward campus, being an HSI, being a minority serving institution, and so forth, and how we can scale up our services and support our students along the way. We can no longer continue to do things as we've done, because the generation of students and families are not necessarily, behaving in that way. In many ways, they want the Amazon effect, if you will. What's in my shopping cart? If this isn't available, where else do I go? And I want it now. So I hope that you gather a glimpse of how this team really works in really trying to meet not only the CSU goals, but the CSUF goals in enrolling and retaining our students, and that you walk away with an idea of what we have to offer and how we work collaboratively hand in hand with you all. One of the things I just want to highlight is that as we think about the journey of a student, it's that very, very early stage from pre-prospect all the way to inquiry, to I'm applying to Cal State Fullerton, to I've made a decision, I want to be onboarded, I want to start, and now that I'm here, how can I make sure that I am ready for life after college via outside classroom experiences, via service learning, internships, job shadow programs, et cetera. And this team is a team who helps our students from the very, very early age. Like I said, some of them are here very, very young, engaging with us all the way to the time that they graduate from Cal State Fullerton, and even a year after and beyond. So our Career Center, who you'll also hear about, helps our students in these efforts while they're here and a year after, because we want to make sure that they are ready for life after college when they leave us, because as we know, college does not just transform students, it really transforms community and communities, and we're definitely here to serve our communities in that way. So with that being said, I want to just give you a little snapshot of our Center for Educational Partnerships, which when you really think of that journey that I showed you, they're oftentimes TK through 12th and community colleges is their engagement and programming that they do. So I want to give you a quick snapshot of our Center for Educational Partnerships and what they do here for our communities and for our campus. There's a glimpse of how we do some early outreach in this department. Our director, Adriana Badillo, could not be here with us today, but Deanna Vasquez is here, Program Director for Upward Bound, to give you all a couple highlights of what else they're doing in this department. Thank you, Deanna.
Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. Like mentioned, my name is Diana Vasquez, and I serve as the Director for Upward Bound underneath the Center for Education and Partnership here at Cal State Fullerton. So I'm here to provide some highlights about our work that our Center for Education and Partnership does, part of the College Access and Career Pathways cluster. So our effort is really aimed to not only expose students to college and career pathways, but to also ensure they're academically prepared to succeed in higher education and beyond. Over the last 2 years, we have celebrated major accomplishments, including that in February 2020, our Division of Student Affairs recognized us as a Center for Educational Partnerships. In 2021, our center was also acknowledged as an example of Excelencia, which is the national recognition for evidence-based programming that improves Latino student success in higher education. And most recently, in 2022, we were awarded a record-breaking department history, over $15 million secured to support students over the next 5 years in grant-funded programs. What you may not see in the data, particularly over the last 2 years, is our uncanny commitment of our program staff and supporters that have enabled our efforts to reach students and families beyond academics in these trying times. For example, we had pop-up tents, and we were able to deliver meals and student supplies, including technology, throughout the summer of 2020. We also modified programming to ensure that our programming success fosters student success and provides an environment for our students and families to succeed. Our efforts extend beyond introducing higher ed at the college and high school level. As they mentioned, we work with Kinder Caminata, kindergarten students at Santa Ana College, as well as sixth graders through our Kids to College programs. Our Ronald E. McNair program, which works with undergraduate students preparing them for PhD programs, prepares scholars to anticipate a range of research and scholarly activities, including completing a McNair thesis in their undergraduate level. McNair scholars, along with other scholars, have shown resilience and fortitude throughout these unprecedented times. We also want to acknowledge the importance of faculty members and volunteers that, while facing their own health and familial and caregiving challenges, they have continued to support all our programs. This fall of 2022 also marks the 30th anniversary of our Upward Bound Santa Ana grant, so we're really excited to continue the work and our effort in our communities. This speaks volumes and the dedication in advancing equity in the education that from all our partners and our collaborations, as well as we continue to reflect on the past years, we're also continuing to reflect on how we can continue to improve and support our students in the future. So the next important element from college awareness and cultivating a college-going culture is the special outreach and orientation provided to our students and families. I would like to introduce a snapshot video of our outreach and recruitment and Titan orientation programs. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Colleen McDowell, Director of Outreach Recruitment and Titan Orientation Programs. Very long title.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Colleen McDonough, the Director of Outreach Recruitment and Titan Orientation Programs. I have a small confession to make. I am turning 47 on Monday, and I can't see anymore. Somehow this happened overnight. And I made the rookie mistake of printing in very small font. So if I fumble, I can read, I just can't see right now. So apologies in advance. I am incredibly proud of the work that my team has done over the past year. We have done incredible things in terms of recruitment and returning orientation to live and in person. We've done some great work. So I'd like to share with you a few highlights and give you a little bit of an indication of where we're going soon. So over the past year, our team learned that it's imperative to expand accessibility on a number of levels in terms of virtual and in-person programming. So we want to maximize our outreach and orientation efforts, and so we're doing in-person and virtual like many other folks. We recognize that students and families want to attend and will attend in-person events again, but they also want to engage with us virtually, and we've come up with a couple ways to do that. So one being Titan On Demand, which is our Netflix-like platform, which allows students and families to engage with us at any time, day and night, and they do at 3 in the morning, which I'm sure is not surprising to any of you. We're also using live chats on our website and on Titan On Demand. We're continuing with Zooms because we know if students have questions in real time and they want to see a face, easy to do through Zoom. And much to the dismay of our student workers, the past couple weeks, we're engaging in old school phone calls to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So they don't answer their phones, by the way. In terms of special populations outreach, so we've increased our efforts exponentially to engage with and recruit students that identify as Black and African American and Native and Indigenous. We're also doing more with Latinx specific populations as well as the LGBTQIA folks. So we're very proud of that work. That work has actually been led by Kristen Johnson, who's sitting over here. Kristen, say hi. She's our Assistant Director for Outreach and Recruitment. And Kristen has done a remarkable job of improving and increasing our special pops outreach. So our team attended over 100 special population specific events between January and now, so 100. And those include college fairs, outreach presentations at target schools, and community engagement events. So incredibly proud of those efforts. Looking forward, we're also building our team greatly. So we've recently added a transfer specialist to assist prospective transfer students with the application process, and we're in the process of hiring a new campus tours coordinator. So we've been a little bit down in that area, so we're hoping within the next month or two to ramp up tours so that they'll be back to our pre-COVID offerings. So we're very proud of that as well. And we've recently hired 25 new Titan ambassadors, so new tour guides coming soon. So very excited about that. And to conclude my part, I'm excited to ask you all to save the date for our admitted student open house, Experience CSUF, Become a Titan, formerly known as Welcome to Cal State Fullerton Day. That will be on April 15th. Like Charlotte was like, wait a minute, what are we doing? April 15th, which will be in person on campus, and we're also doing virtual offerings the following week. So we found that worked well last year. We had people from all over the world engaging with us on the platform. So super excited about that. And speaking of admitted students, providing college access and career pathways is not possible without our admissions team. So here's a quick snapshot of the work and focus of the admissions team in providing college access to prospective Titans. It is my great pleasure to introduce someone who needs no introduction, the incomparable Director of Admissions, Sharnette Underdew.
Thank you and good morning. I like to start with the 5 things that the Office of Admissions is responsible for. The applications. We open it for all 110 undergraduate majors each cycle. Decisions, assessing whether standards have been met. Transcripts, to confirm the self-reported information provided by the student. Residency for tuition purposes. Students are flagged by out-of-state school attendance, and this status is now visible to them in their acknowledgement email once they have applied. We're very proud of that. And 5, appeals. That is where we reconsider a decision that they believe to be wrong. Those are the 5 things. I know we like to think we're a catch-all. These are the 5 things that admissions does. Over the last few years, a variety of factors have contributed to changes in the students' college readiness and college-going behavior, the likes of which we will be unraveling for years to come. These are national trends, not just CSUF, not just the CSU, and definitely not the OC. Low birth rate, lowered enrollment at the community colleges, an aversion to loans, grade inflation at record levels, a strong job market, which equates to low enrollment, cost inflation not keeping pace with wages, middle class moving out of California, and many more. It's not just the pandemic, and it's not going to return to normal. The enrollment cliff we talked about for years is here, but it's not all bad news. We are doing our part and partnering with you to make sure that we are here to serve the students. Info gleaned from previous cycles are no longer valid. Students' behaviors have changed, and as a result, we have to change along with it. The best advice we can give the applicants is to pay attention and read, as each school will have different requirements, deadlines, and expectations. We understand that students are expected to have a significant amount of cultural capital in order to maneuver each institution's application process. Here's how you can help with sharing some application tips based on what we have experienced in working with the students. For first-time freshmen, the multi-factor admission score, or MFAS, is here to stay. The CSU has made the decision to be test blind moving forward. As we are admitting students, what we're looking for is the probability of the student being academically successful at the university. The GPA still remains the strongest predictor of academic success. The Chancellor's Office is reviewing a system-wide MFAS that is expected to be rolled out in 2025. Students can now use the free CCGI system to upload their coursework. Once an applicant imports their info from CCGI to CSA, Cal State Apply, they need to review it and make changes where necessary. Don't assume accuracy, please double check. Do not wait till the last minute to apply. In the CSU, 60% of our applications are submitted during the week of Thanksgiving. Why is this an issue, you ask? Counselors are not there to help when needed. For transfers, make sure the unit type is correct. Quarter versus semester makes a difference. Don't forget to check the transferable boxes on courses if applicable. Take advantage of the application update in January. We do consider it. Nearly 37.2% of all undergrads across higher education have attended more than one institution. For students who have attended more than one school, they can't cherry pick which school to tell us about. They need to report all schools attended and send official transcripts from each one. For all applicants, we're still going to be deadline driven. With tens of thousands of applications, we need to adhere to strict timelines for processing. App cycles overlap each other. For example, in October, we're clearing admitted spring students while downloading and cleaning data on fall applications, all with the same staff. Please remind our applicants to check coursework entry before submitting applications. Once the application is submitted, changes cannot be made to the coursework entry section. And qualifying for an application fee waiver does not indicate that you will qualify for a California residency, nor does it mean you will qualify for the enrollment deposit deferral. Above all else, create your student portal, meaning your campus email, and check the task list regularly for updates. When in doubt, file an appeal. That's their opportunity to have us reconsider the application and we are happy to do so. That's all from the Office of Admissions. But once admitted, a crucial component of college attainment is providing financial resources to our Titans so that they may reach their academic and career goals. Here's a snapshot of our Office of Financial Aid and the work they do in order to meet the needs of our Titans. She's saved hundreds of students from disenrollment. She quickly dispersed millions in COVID relief funds and has increased services to students at a time when many others were decreasing access. Please help me to give a warm Titan welcome to our very own Director of Financial Aid and Instagram superstar, Jessica Barco.
She's just kidding about the Instagram superstar. But it's such a pleasure to be with you this morning. My name is Jessica Barco, and I am the Director of Financial Aid at Cal State Fullerton. And it's my honor to lead the amazing work of a fantastic financial aid team. As a first-generation college student myself, and currently a fourth-year PhD student, I understand the needs of students, and I want to make sure that we're leading with heart, with dedication, and meeting the needs that they have at this critical time, and continuing. The Office of Financial Aid embodies diversity, access, equity, and inclusion. And we do that by making sure that all of our services are meeting the needs of our students and are also in compliance with all of the agencies that we need to make sure that we're working with. By doing this, we advocate with federal agencies, state agencies, institutional agencies. We're advocating for them, and we're doing it right. We strive to meet students' needs and set them up for success. We do this by maximizing their financial aid opportunities while decreasing at the same time their student loan intake. We have a fantastic client services team that is doing all of the work of outreach, not just saying you need to meet the application deadlines, but showing them how, taking them there, and helping them through it. We want to make sure that we are doing the job of truly serving students. As the largest Hispanic serving institution in the state of California, it is our distinct honor and privilege to lead our Hispanic students and all of our students, to truly set them up for success, to truly embody what it means to serve them, not just to put out what a deadline means, but again, point out what the steps are, connect the dots, and lead the way, and provide the opportunity, being accessible and being available to the best of our ability. And during this pandemic, we were stretched, just like many of you were. And despite that, we rose to the challenge, we rose to the occasion, and we met our students where they were. Now you have a pamphlet that tells you so many data points on how we did that, but it may not show what was happening behind it, the trends and what the students' needs were and how we met them. So please allow me to elaborate just a little bit further on a few of those points. The first is affordability and how important and how critical it is for students to, number one, believe that they can actually attain higher education and that there is a way and that we can provide that. Well, financial aid provides the access to that, so we're doing that. And this currently, we have provided financial aid packages 6 weeks prior to the May 1st deadline, providing parents and students information to make informed decisions so that they can decide what's best for them and their family. We dispersed Financial aid to all eligible students 2 weeks before the beginning of the term. Anyone that's eligible, we're not making them do the guesswork of figuring out where they have to go or what they have to do. This is automatic. Currently, we're up to $142 million dispersed to over 21,000 Titans to date. And we have increased our FAFSA, our free application for federal student aid, and our California DREAM Act applications by over 4%, which results in about $1 million extra in grants and scholarships. Why is this important? Because it reduces equivalently the amount of loans that students are intaking. I'm very proud to report that we are going above and beyond, not just making sure students are completing applications, but that we are maximizing those applications, because that means that they receive more funding, more gift aid, and they can then make the decision to take out less loan aid, so they have more social mobility for the future. We make those decisions intentionally right now. It's in our policy, it's in our practice, and it's in the heart that we lead with. We also awarded over $100 million in higher education emergency relief funding. This is while we're also receiving up to 12,000 phone calls a week. This is also while we're handling income appeals because students' family situations have changed. This is also while students are reaching out to us to say, I may not be able to afford, what can I do? We're also awarding $100 million extra in emergency relief aid to over 48,000 students, by the way. We provided also emergency grants to over 1,000 students just this fall, students who were in such a desperate need and in a dire strait to say, I'm about to drop out, and unless somebody comes in and swoops me and saves me at the 11th hour, I'm going to be disenrolled and dropped from all of my classes. With the support of our Vice President of Student Affairs and Associate Vice President, who said, here's this, manage it, and manage these limited funds in an equitable manner to the students that need it the most, the Office of Financial Aid was able to save 946 seniors who are about to graduate, and it boggles my mind that they could have been dropped, but they weren't. We combed through the list and we went through it, and we saved them because we care, because every student matters, and we want to do the very best that we can. I also want to share that we do everything that we can to promote satisfactory academic progress. I know it doesn't sound attractive, but believe me, it'll catch your attention when I tell you the impact of it. If a student is not meeting the minimum requirements to maintain financial aid, there's something called Title IV, and it's like the ultimate law for financial aid. I'll just say that. But it means that if you're not making progress to a degree, your funding is cut. So what happens to students in our critical need during a pandemic, in dire straits, working excessive hours, have family illness, have mental health issues, and then they say, my grades are suffering. Well, at the end, federal government laws require that funding is cut. So we're getting ahead of that. I'm glad you asked, what are we doing at Cal State Fullerton? Let me tell you. Again, under our leadership of our VPSA and our Associate Vice President, they're saying we get ahead of these things, Jessica, so let's make sure that we're promoting everything that we can. We currently have an ongoing student satisfactory academic campaign with webinars coming up on the week that students return from Thanksgiving break. We have 2 coming up for students. We have 2 coming up for our campus partners and our community to make sure that we are all doing our part to educate students to say, I know times are tough. I know that it is hard. Let me help you, and let me just let you know that these are some of the markers that need to be met, and let's make sure we connect you with the resources that you need, because we need you to make these marks, because we gotta make sure we are completing all of the requirements for Title IV and compliance to safeguard our institution and you, so let us help you. So this is really important. It's called Student Satisfactory Academic Progress. I'm gonna reach out to you for help in a minute regarding that. But we have a campaign that we're doing that, and we're doing that actively and launching new programs. Again, you know, no big deal during a pandemic while we're trying to be all things to all people. Also trying to see how we can advocate for students in need during a critical time where there's something coming up, sneaking up behind them that if they're not careful can actually pull all of their funding. But we're letting them know what that's about, and we're doing it ahead of time. As I mentioned, there was times where we were receiving up to 12,000 phone calls in 1 week. So what did we do? I'm glad you asked. We expanded our hours. We expanded our virtual hours till 6 p.m. During a time where a lot of folks had closed offices, we were expanding our hours. And we're still doing that now, so check out our hours online. And I also want to share with you in closing that we also have to make sure that we're doing things right. Otherwise, my purse strings get cut by the federal government. So I want to let you know that I'm very proud to report that we have 4 years a free audit finding, zero findings audits at the federal level and at the state level. That is very difficult to accomplish, especially during difficult times. With that being said, I want to share with you that we're doing things with heart and with compliance. We're doing it because we care, and we're doing it right. Legitimately, truly, we're doing everything that we can, and we're protecting all of the students' rights and their data and their privacy. So I just wanted to make one plug to you. Students are in need right now, and there's so many things that can impact their eligibility for financial aid, and they don't realize by working too many hours, their GPA can drop. Their mental health and not getting the support services that they need, they can begin to slowly disengage from classes, which ultimately all of these have an effect on their academic achievement. And if they're not making progress to a degree, not meeting the GPA, not meeting the units attempted or passed versus units attempted, it all has impact. So if you see students that are slipping away, ask them the question. Connect them with the resource, because ultimately they're going to end up in financial aid receiving a notice that nobody wants to send to them. And it's the notice that says your financial aid has been terminated. We don't want to send notices like that, but we need to be in federal compliance. So will you help me help students? And if you see students are in those situations, don't just say, okay, well, take it easy. Just say, hey, do you know how this might affect your financial aid? We need that. When do you want to graduate? And let's help you work through those situations. Also, I wanted to share with you the very high news that even though there were many institutions across the nation were down on their FAFSA completions, we're actually up at Cal State Fullerton. We're slightly down with our CDA applications though. So our most vulnerable students are still the ones that have the highest need. So if you see our California DREAM Act application students and they seem hopeless, tell them that there is hope. Do not. En español, we say, no te mueras antes de que te maten. Don't give up before don't make the choice yourself, but connect them with the proper resources. This is definitely a time that our most vulnerable students need us the most, so I'm making a plea for our California DREAM Act students. If they don't get federal funding, do you understand that? So if they're late, they didn't apply, this is what they're gonna get. This is what they're gonna get. You tell me who can make it when this is what they're getting. So I just wanted to say to let's work together to help students during critical times who need support. When it comes to meeting satisfactory academic progress, don't let them go down the tube. And for our California DREAM Act application students, see what you can do to help them and meet that deadline. So with that being said, I wanted to end on a high note. Wow, I apologize. I just wanted to say we care at Cal State Fullerton. We have amazing leaders that embody that and that make sure that all of the leaders that work under them embody that as well. So I just wanted to say that's where this is coming from right now. And with that being said, I wanted to share with you that we go beyond the current right now. So we want to make sure that we set up students for success into the future. So I want to introduce somebody absolutely fabulous and amazing to you, because research shows that high impact practices make the biggest difference for students to succeed and post-graduation. And the highest impact practice of all of the high impact practices are internships that are connected to a student's potential field of choice. And here to come and talk to us today is our very one and only award-winning Carnegie Classifying Director of the Center for Internships and Community Engagement, the one and only and fabulous Dawn Macy. We're going to introduce her with a fantastic video to match her amazing qualities.
I don't know why I have to go after Jessica. This was not fair. But good morning, everyone. In the Center for Internships and Community Engagement, we do many things. We support academic internships, service learning. We also run after-school programs and an AmeriCorps program. But here at Cal State Fullerton, every student has the opportunity to participate in an academic internship, meaning every major has an academic internship class on the record. Not all require it, however. In our undergraduate programs, about 14 majors require that students complete an academic internship in order to graduate. Some of them actually require 2 and 3 academic internships to graduate. So there's a lot of variety, and it depends on your major. In our center, the work that we've done has changed a lot in the past few years. In the summer of 2020, the Chancellor's Office actually sent out a mandate that all 23 campuses cancel their academic internships or find a way to do them remotely. And when you have 5,000 to 6,000 students doing academic internships a year, you're like, how do we create all those remote internships? We maybe have 20 a year, right? So we had to decide then and there that we've got to become the experts, because our community partners need our students, but they don't know how to do remote internships. So we did the research, we came up with a plan, and my team started hosting workshops for our community partners to teach them how to make a successful remote academic internship. We decided that we would become the experts in this, and we started to wonder, though, how successful would we really be? Hosting academic internships already requires a lot from our community partners, and here we were about to ask them to do even more, to attend these workshops, to try something new, to be creative, and still be accountable to our students. So we decided to do that. We were really successful, and so other campuses started calling us and saying, hey, how are you doing this? How are you making this happen? And they were wanting our advice. So at their request, we decided to come up with a Train the Trainers workshop that was attended nationally by multiple universities, saying, hey, we have the same problem. How do we do it? And so we did that for other universities, not just our own CSUs. Of course, we had students who were first responders in the community already, and then we had students who wanted to be first responders. They're learning things in their classrooms, and they knew they can help, and they didn't want to sit on the sidelines. But we kept having to tell them no. So we took that summer, we worked with the Office of Risk Management here on campus, and we came up with a proposal that we were sending to the Chancellor's Office, saying, please, if we do this, if we do that, if we stand on our head, if we do the hokey pokey, if we collect all these documents, if we do all these things, can we please let our students go into the community and do academic internships if we've prepared them and if they're safe? And lo and behold, the Chancellor's Office said, yes, you can do that. So we involved a whole lot of more people on campus because everything had to go through triple approval. But we did that for our students, and we had a lot of them who were successful. Both our students and our staff were living our tagline that Titans reach higher. So for the numbers that you see today on page 13, our numbers are lower because it was for the academic year 21-22, and we still had at least one high volume department that wasn't doing academic internships. But I'm happy to report that now, in fall 2022, all departments are back up and running as normal. Pandemic numbers are gone, and we're where we were before the pandemic. Just basically 2 things have changed. We have a heck of a lot more remote academic internships offered to students, so students can still make that choice if they want to. And we saw an increase in the amount of internships that are being offered for credit as well as, so in addition, they're also getting paid. Our numbers went up from pre-pandemic to in the teens to in the 30s after the pandemic. And so all of this is terrific news when we consider that employers often report that the most important factor for applicant selection for people out of college is whether or not they've had an academic internship. So great news on that front. Thank you for letting me share this information with you. But as we move on, creating a college-going culture and creating career and professional aspirations is something that our Titans are exposed to, as you've been seeing thus far throughout the presentations. Many of our students are first-generation college students, and therefore our efforts and support services need to be intentional in order to support the needs of all students. Here is a glimpse of how our Career Center equips our Titans for career pathways and what employers are saying about our students. So at this time, please.
Hi, my name is Daniel Kelly. I am the Southern California Program Coordinator with the House of Blues Music Forward Foundation. We at the House of Blues Music Forward Foundation and Live Nation really wanted to participate in the Titan Takeover to give the students of Fullerton a chance to gain access to the music industry and see what goes on behind the scenes. They were able to connect with the industry professionals who are a lot like them, who might have not known what they wanted to do when they were in college. Our experiences with the students were really wonderful. All the students we received from Fullerton were really engaged, really prepared, and very open-minded in terms of learning new things and meeting meeting people that they weren't quite prepared to meet. One of the students who is studying graphic design met with the head of graphic design in the House of Blues, and she was telling us about how, quite literally, she had never considered doing graphic design for a venue before, but now that she realized that was something she could pursue, it was like, she's like, okay, I'm gonna look into this. So it was this kind of moment of like an aha moment, and that's, exactly what we look for in Music Forward, is to give these students experiences where they're realizing something new that probably changes their career trajectory entirely. The CSU Fullerton Career Center was super helpful in helping us to coordinate with the students and really get a critical mass of students in the room so that it would be worthwhile for both our employers and for the students involved. I think the concept of the Titan Takeover is awesome. The fact that Cal State Fullerton makes such an effort to get their students connected to career opportunities and to engage with professionals in such a way that they give them the resources to do it it's wonderful. It's a really great resource, and that this is probably the most successful one we've had so far.
So at this time, please help me welcome Dr. Jennifer Moharo to the stage.
Look at that. All I had to do is walk up here and I'm a doctor now. I wish it was just that easy. Good morning, everyone. Welcome today. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about our cluster. Career Center, of course, is at the end of that cluster. We are the pathway that helps students make that transition into the world of work. So we welcome you, and we are looking forward to sharing some of the updates about the Career Center. Thank you, Dawn, for that introduction. And as you saw, Daniel was one of our employers, and as he mentioned, the Titan Takeover Career Exploration Program really provides students with the opportunity to gain an insight into new career paths. Sometimes they think that they're going to end their career end their academic career in one way, and then they move into something, get an experience that really helps them change their way of career trajectory. So it also provides employers with the ability to identify talent for their jobs and internships. So it's a two-way road that really helps both our employers and our students. In this program, students are actually matched with employers who host a virtual or in-person company visit where they learn about the organization's structure, culture, and the jobs and day-to-day operations. This program, though, is just one of the ways that the Career Center prepares CSUF students to be career ready after college. The creation of intentional programming, events, and employer outreach strategies is based on data we collect directly from CSUF students that utilize our services, employers that recruit from our campus, data from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, also known as NACE, and trends in the industry. To ensure that we are addressing employer needs, we've developed intentional strategies to increase our students' career readiness skills and help them effectively articulate how those skills apply to the world of work. Because it's great to develop those skills, but if students can't describe that to their employers and apply that to their jobs, then we're not doing our job. So that's what the employer part of it. But employers play a key and important part of our work. And some of those partners are here, and we'd like to welcome and thank them. In our recent employer survey, 88% of employers shared that CSUF students are more career ready than their peers from other colleges and universities. What are employers looking for in new hires? Because that's something that we want to know as we're preparing those students. Well, according to NACE, their 2022 Job Outlook survey, the top 3 skills that employers are looking for are 1, critical thinking, 2, communication, and then 3, teamwork. Out of those top 3 skills, 95% of employers who hire CSUF students agree that our students are equipped with effective critical thinking. 97 agree that they're equipped with effective communication skills and teamwork skills. So that tells a lot about the students that are going into the world of work. What students look for in researching for jobs is also an important part of this because we are here to serve our students. Organization, they're looking for an organization that really embraces diversity. That's something that's important to them. A place where they can develop job-specific and soft skills, because that's another important part. And then, of course, a friendly environment with co-workers that are really friendly, because if you're going to be in a job, you want to be with people that you can relate with. And then they also are looking for good benefits package. So those are just some key little bit of information for those employers out there. As a career center, we continue to adapt how we deliver services to students because we want to learn from our students. We want to learn from our employers. And coming out of the pandemic, we found that hybrid services, even now that we're fully open, is something that's really important to students. So having our doors open is a welcoming place for them to come in, but they also like the convenience of those virtual services that we're providing. So we're really heavy on virtual appointment availability, but then students can also come in and see their college career specialist. We also have hybrid programming and workshops. During the pandemic, we went fully virtual, so all of our career fairs were fully virtual. Coming out of that, we had them go into a hybrid mode, which was very helpful to both employers and our students. Other things that we learned coming out of the pandemic was CSUF Career Center has been proactive in really watching recruitment trends among employers. From data collected through our employer hiring survey and NACE's 2022 Job Outlook survey, we learned that with more relaxed travel restrictions, employers are primarily committed to in-person. So we really saw that over the spring and the fall in all of our major events. Not only did we in the spring have hybrid career fairs and expos, absolutely students and employers came to those virtual, but they were here in force and in person. They wanted to see the employers face to face, and those employers wanted to see those students face to face. in addition to that, we also find that students really, especially in this fall, they wanted to be in person, they wanted to talk to us, they wanted to have that interaction, but then also those virtual parts are also an important. So that's something that we are making sure to do, listen to our students. In addition, to address the needs of our first generation students, and as a first generation student myself, it's very important that we understand where our first generation students are and how we can help them be successful. We developed the I Am First program. Through this program, students gain a better understanding of self, build community, increase career readiness knowledge, connect with first-gen alumni, connect with first-gen employers, and campus resources to be successful in their college time and then also beyond. With CSUF's recent designation as a first-gen forward campus, we've begun partnerships with the campus community to scale up the program and offer this opportunity to more students on campus. So this is a program that's one of our premier programs that we have tried to continue to expand, and it's an opportunity for students, like I said, to build that community, but then also get connected to those resources. And again, thank you everyone for being here today, for learning a little bit more about our college access and career pathways cluster. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I'd like to invite Dr. Zavala up to the stage.
All right. Well, thank you, Jen, and everyone from the different areas. I hope that you all got a glimpse of all the work that goes behind the scene and how we make the recipe and what happens behind the scenes. Like I like saying, Titans just don't show up. They start from a very, very early age, and we're engaging them at the very, very early age. Just a couple things before we close out. I want to thank you again for your attention, for your support, for your commitment and being here. Dr. Oseguera, thank you so much for your support. As I heard my team speak about all these things that we're doing, they were almost non-existent 2 years ago. And so sometimes when during the pandemic, it felt like, we're trying to figure things out, this team was going. Many of these accolades, the First Gen Forward, the Seal of Excelencia, a lot of other things that we've accomplished were done during the pandemic. So thank you, Dr. Oseguera, for your support. She's definitely someone who you come to the table with a problem and a solution. She just gives you the green light. I had the idea of the I Am First program as a first-gen student, and that was non-existent. And so many of these things, as Jessica mentioned, have to do with the leadership in place. And I just want to thank you, Dr. Oseguera, for trusting us. For trusting us with all the ideas and spaghetti on the wall, and all the things that we do here collectively as a group. As you could probably tell from the team that I lead, I'm very honored to have this cluster because, like I said, we don't just haphazardly have Titans show up. There's a lot of heart and soul into the work that goes through, and I'm hoping that you will able to walk away with that. I know there's a lot of information that was provided. There's still more. We're always happy to share. Please connect with us. We will follow up with you with an email, a digital copy, a survey. Want to know what else you want to know from us, and how we can continue the engagement. Just a couple things as we wrap up, and additional things that we'll be working on. I know that we mentioned about the national trends of what's happening across the nation. And one of the things that we as a system are going to be working on, just to give you an idea, is our Transfer Student Success Pathway program via the Chancellor's Office. And that Transfer Success Pathway program really is a dual admissions focused on first-time freshmen attending community colleges and providing guarantees if they are not eligible to attend a CSU and or may not be able to attend due to financial and unforeseen circumstances. So behind the scenes, with the leadership of Dr. Oseguera and many in the room here, we will be working on that as we will be able to roll that out in the future, and really strengthening the ties and collaborations and pathways are with our community colleges. I can tell you that there's a lot of lens on those pathways and eliminating barriers where they may exist and simplifying processes. I can tell you that our president is very engaged in these conversations and is always thinking of what else can we do and how can we further brainstorm. And so those are the things that we'll be working collaboratively behind the scenes and really welcome your ideas and thoughts on that. In conclusion, I just want to again thank you for your attention and engagement. There's still lots of conversations that can happen in the tables, and we intended this program to close around 10:30 so that you can have the ability to network and engage with folks that are here today. But again, thank you so much, and we welcome you again in the future. I'm hoping that this is one of many future conversations that we'll have in relation to providing updates. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.